Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit content.
Don't drop the soap, it's gonna get dirty.
It's all vibes and no facts.
Which one's the Shadow Daddy? The sexy one?
I want to share to our new listeners that this episode is going to contain information about Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight and, of course, Heir of Fire. Those are the books that we have read in this series.
Guys, I gotta talk to you about this. This book has got it all. It's got action. It's got birds. And I like birds.
Oh, right, because he's a hawk.
Oh, I thought he was a crow. I think you're right.
I think he's a hawk.
You're right.
He's
a
cooler
hawk.
than that. Well, unless he's a raven. That's pretty cool. But he's not.
Cool.
He's a hawk.
Yeah. All right, fine. It's got birds. And it's got incest.
Oh.
I'm sure this book's going to have incest in it. I'm pretty sure those guys are cousins. And I have also decided that this FMC, the most empowered. She gets a new dude every book.
Yeah.
She just sees fresh dick and she's like, I want that one.
Well, she's not really, like, we know where it's going, of course, but
they're
she's
all begrudged relationships.
begrudged.
They all start off where it's like, I hate you. But I kind of like it, too.
This seems more, not quite enemies to lovers, but definitely disdain to lovers or
Isn't
something.
that sort of what the last two were? I don't think they were direct enemies. They were sort of just dislike into affection.
Yeah, except for, well, no, you're right, because Dorian, being the prince, she's just like...
It's a blueprint.
Yeah, she's got a type.
She's got a type. And I think they just keep getting taller.
Yes.
She finds one that's like, so Dorian was a regular-sized Rudy with a heart that was just bigger than everybody else's. Then she's like, all right, I've had enough of the young bull. Now I want the leader of the knights. And so
She should have said stag.
hops on
of
a K-hole.
where this book goes. Someone shared their heights of Kaol and Dorian. Let me see if I can find it.
I remember this.
What did they tell you?
6 foot for Dorian, 6'1" for K-hole. And Selena is 5'7".
Yes, Selena 5'7", in her human form. Dorian 6 foot, Kaol 6'1".
So I think in her Fae form, she's like 6'5".
And then Rowan is...
I don't care about that guy
6'6".
yet. Yeah, I don't care about him yet, but...
What do you think about him? Tell me.
Angsty.
Angsty. He is a widowed man. He is behaving how you should if you lose me.
You think this is how I should behave?
Centuries.
You think this is how I should behave?
Yeah.
Like biting other women?
Okay, that we never got about
Yeah,
that.
I don't think so. I think if you die tragically.
Yeah. While pregnant with our daughter.
Yeah.
That you never got to know.
Yeah, so this would have been if that would have happened.
Yeah.
I think the only correct move is to end it. I'm not even joking. I do not.
I think he
don't
said
see
that
it.
he couldn't bring himself to do it. He tried.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not like tried. I don't think he said that, but he was just like it.
Yeah, Tylenol doesn't exist in this world.
But he couldn't bring himself to do that.
Well, I guess because you can't jump off a building, you can become a bird. Trains aren't a thing. I mean, I can think of so many easy ways to do this.
He's a broken man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Break it the rest of the way. That's the appropriate thing.
Tell me what you feel about him. At first, I was just like, guys, there's a lot of references to them being related. First, the queen says it, and then Selena just outright says it. She's just like, we're related, right? He's like, distant.
Yeah, and you just hear Sweet Home Alabama playing in the background again. I fucking love these books because we have an age gap / cousin romance, which I don't think anybody's ever brought up to me before. I think this is so wild.
This is the greatest thing ever. I freaking love this. Well, because at first I'm just like, ha ha ha, making fun of him. I'm like, wait a minute. Now I kind of want to deny this exists also.
Oh, man. See, and I don't feel anything toward him. But I think that's kind of the best thing. I still think Dorian's the best dude, but he's got a healer girl now, and that's so cute.
Yeah, what do you think of Sorsha?
She's a spy.
What?
I think she's going to be a spy or something.
purposefully or unintentional?
No, I think semi-purposefully, because I have a new theory about the king, and it has to do with Maeve, and so I think she's going to end up enmeshed in that somehow, or
Sorsha?
Dorian will be. One or the other. Yep.
Sorsha, in the beginning, I re-listened a little bit last night, just playing it through, and I caught that she's writing someone letters outside of the castle that's very interested in all of the goings of the castle.
Who I think is going to end up being Maeve.
What?
So why has the king not went and attacked Maeve? Why would Maeve's magic have been left alone?
'Cause, I don't know.
Through whatever process that he eliminated the magic from his area,
Yeah.
could have also eliminated her magic.
Yeah.
I think the king's a figurehead.
A figurehead?
Yep. I think he's an installed dictator. So, bear with me on this one.
You have so many more theories. I was so focused on all the relationships, I have no thoughts on anything with this.
How do you feel about Maeve?
Very little. I don't know. I just was really... I'm so simple.
I'm so excited for so much of this because I'm going to be so fucking wrong. And these people are going to tell me about how wrong I am. And the only person left to believe that I'm always right is this beautiful kitty.
Well, for those who are just listening, he has Luna, the cat, orange cat, sitting on his lap.
She's happy. I'm happy.
She is very happy.
We're happy. She's slobbering all over me, though.
She's very happy.
Maybe she got rabies.
Or she could have found the catnip in the windowsill.
She does seem pretty chill. Okay, how do you feel about Rowan? Was that his
I like him. I find it hilarious. I sometimes think he's quite a bit of a dick, but now that I know that he's a widow, that makes sense.
He's a widower.
Yeah, that's what?
Right?
What's
a
the
widow?
difference?
I thought a widower was a person whose spouse has been deceased. I could be wrong. I just assume that was the more male term for it.
Oh, I don't know.
You're right. There's probably a widow, but I assume widow was a female term. I could be wrong. Listen, guys, we're not that sort of podcast. I'm going to say a lot of shit confidently, and most of it's not going to be right. Welcome to White Guy Reads These Books.
But yeah, I like him. I'm curious to see where it goes. I like that it's not fast and that he is just a sad, broken man because he misses his wife.
You don't feel like it's moving a little quick?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's
We're
been there
58% of the book.
Yeah, but she's in her time. She's been there a few months. She literally left an important heirloom with the last guy who she felt so attached to and loved. I'm putting up hand quotes.
And she still has his ring.
Yeah, and she's a little bit sad about it. Every time she looks at it, she's like, oh, I'll never see him again. Plus, I kind of want to fuck this guy if it turns into a bird. Like, I think those are sort of the, I don't know.
I don't think she's come to terms that she likes him. I think she is hitting the point, like at this stage, that he has feelings. I don't know.
So we also got that all Fae can turn into animals.
Yes.
Is her animal form just people?
Yes.
The craziest animal of all, humans.
Yes. Yeah, she said something about it's also an animal or saying, just some little comment. But I don't know if they choose this form as children and you're stuck with it for life. Because if so, I would have been a dolphin for life and that would have fucking sucked.
Well, it would have been weird if you were landlocked.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take her to SeaWorld. She wants to use her animal form. Oh, God, no. We've taken her to SeaWorld.
Because, yeah, as a child, if you put me by a pool, I'd be like, oh, I can choose? Choosing dolphin for the rest of my life. There is no way this is a bad decision that I would ever regret.
I'm going to be real honest. I think the only correct answer is bird of any kind. Like, I mean, granted, hummingbird would be less effective, but still the point stands. Being able to fly.
What would you choose?
In this world, probably wyvern, given that they exist.
That would be fucking cool.
I'm just saying. And I think that's sort of a lizard bird.
It is, yeah. I think it's a two-legged dragon-looking thing.
Oh, I think their forelegs have the wings on them.
I'm pretty sure wyvern have 2 legs only.
All right.
Almost like a chicken.
You check. I know we've had this discussion so many times, but I want you to relook at that because I could be wrong.
Yep, wyvern versus dragon. Dragons have 4 legs.
No, that's what I meant. Is their four legs are the wings.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying because they're walking with their wings.
Mm-hmm.
What an odd distinction. I guess I didn't think of that. Anyways, you would be a wyvern.
Yeah, I think that's what I would go with. If dragons don't exist, then wyvern.
If wyvern exists, then are there dragons in this story?
We haven't got to that point yet. But if so, I'm excited to see Xaden arm wrestle Rowan.
The crossover episode, essentially.
Wouldn't that be so funny? Where they're both kind of just angsty, looking at each other, side-eyeing each other, and the women are like, just beat his ass, baby. Like, I would turn this into a trailer park fight so fast. They'd both have had too many, Pabst Blue Ribbon. If you're not listening from America, that's our shitty beer.
I think we have a new shitty beer that I've been seeing around town. It's just the white can that says beer.
I don't think that's actually shitty beer.
Oh, really?
I think that's fancy beer. I think that's minimalist fancy beer.
Oh.
I could be mistaken.
I think you're right. There's nothing on it. It's just a white can and it says beer.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing it around everywhere we've been going and lots of people are ordering it. I just assumed it was a shitty beer.
Shout out to Gary, guy who I used to work with. He told me a story when I was a mere 20-year-old babe about how he used to just drink cans of beer, white cans and blue labels that said beer. And now it's real.
Any other thoughts on Rowan? We clearly have different feelings. Do you think there was anything that could turn you around?
Well, I don't dislike Rowan. I just don't care about him. I'm assuming he may be temporary at this point, or I'm assuming that he's the end-all be-all guy. And he's going to end up being good, but I'm a little turned off by the whole cousin fuckery of the whole situation.
They're like, when I was looking at it, if her great-grandma and who I thought was his great-grandma were sisters, then they're third cousins.
So, but
I
he's
don't think
old enough
that's
that I
right.
think her great-grandma was probably his sister, arguably. I think they're not of the same generation, so I don't think it's even cousins.
I don't think
they
so.
are. I think it's like he's her great uncle.
Something
Twice
like that.
removed or some nonsense, but still it's weird.
Well, he was calling Maeve his aunt.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, well, then is that the third sister's son immediately? That would make them first cousins twice removed. And I didn't like that one.
This is what I'm saying is any way you look at it, I'm a little turned off by the fact that they are family. Not entirely turned off.
The other option was, I couldn't wrap my head around it, but do you know how like your grandma has how many siblings?
9. Well, now there's 3 left.
There's 9 siblings. She was the oldest.
Yes.
And then when you think of her youngest sister is younger than your mom.
Yes.
And then when you like that type of age gap.
Or you could even do the same thing with my siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
My oldest half-sister is 2 months older than my mom.
Yeah, great example. And then when you put
We're not that white trash family I was talking about.
But when you think of, yeah, because you're, okay.
My dad was quite old.
Yeah, we have to clarify.
Yeah. Theo Von Stad's got nothing on my papa.
So I think that there could be something funny about that, where you have the 3 Fae queens, and the one for Selena's lineage was the younger one, or something like that. Really,
You think that's going to be the big difference here?
I don't fucking know.
A group of people that live thousands of years, you're worried about which generation everybody is. I am unconcerned with that.
I quit looking into it. I was kind of laughing at first. I'm like, wait a minute,
He's like, I was born before your great uncle. Which gives us a little hint. He didn't say great uncle. He said, I was born before your great uncle. So that would mean her dad's brother or her mom's brother, he was born before that. Therefore, I'm assuming we've got 4 generations betwixt them at least of ordinary generation. I do think it's a little weird. I really struggle with the idea of when these people are having children. Like, when is a geriatric pregnancy for a Fae person? Are we just stacking generations?
I don't know.
Like, if you and your mother are born 50 years apart, let's say, you're going to live 2,000 years. That 50 years becomes really inconsequential not that far into things. Like, we even kind of see it as old people. Are you ever around old people? Like, you go to a church and there's a 95-year-old lady. Her daughter is there with her, who is 71 years old, and then her daughter is there, who's nearly 60. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just compounds so quickly. And I imagine for the Fae, it's like, we have 27 generations here at this reunion. Incredible.
I don't know. I guess I didn't think about it. When you live for centuries and centuries, I don't know how old Maeve is. Oh, I have to say this. The names of the sisters, that was really difficult as an audiobook listener.
They're all M's and they're very close.
Mab, it's like M-A-B. And then there's Maeve. But the pronunciation of the A on Mab and Maeve in the audiobook were close enough, and I was getting confused. I was like, wait, are these the same people or not? So I then had to Google the 3 Fae sister names, and it's Mab, Maeve, and I forgot the other one. She's not important, but I think that's the one that Rowan's related to.
I love that you're like, not even important. Fuck the third one.
Well, I have it somewhere in my notes. I don't remember. But then Mab changed her name to Diana.
Yes. Well, after the tragedy.
What tragedy?
Oh my God. You don't remember?
You're bullshit.
Car accident.
Shut the fuck up.
Left 2 boys to be orphaned. Henry. Nope. What are the... William? Oh, shit.
Oh,
I don't remember those
Princess
voices.
Diana. I see what you're saying. No.
I don't remember the other guy's names now. The one that's married to the lady from Suits, and then the other one.
Yeah.
With the wife that's name is Kate, and they don't have real children. It's all AI. Middleton.
Yeah, Kate Middleton and...
William or Henry? Is Henry the old one?
I thought Henry was the dad.
It could be. British people, don't add us.
I'm so sorry.
Also, other people who the queen was over. Wait, do you guys have a king now, or did that guy just step down? I'm so confused as to what's happening.
I feel like
our politics is so messy. I'm just trying to stay out of ours. Your guys is also a little wild.
What else did I want to say? There's Maeve. Tell me more. You think that the king is a...
I'll start with this theory before we
Yes.
go. I don't know that we've heard a lot about the other 2 sisters. So I'm going to point out that I don't know how involved they may or may not be with my theory. Maeve is an archetype character similar to one in the tangential series, Akatar.
Which we're not going to talk about.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm saying that the way that character, the bad in that first and second book of that series was written, reminds me of Maeve. And I want to also applaud Sarah J. Maas for writing bad guys as women also. Not because I dislike women, but I think it's probably the most empowering thing you could do in a story is not have them all be damsels in distress, also have them be the Billy Badasses of a story in a negative and positive light. What I'm thinking is happening. Her parents wanted to hide her from Maeve.
Yes.
There's a good reason for that. The dad was less opposed to it than the mom. The mom seems to be the one that knows Maeve better.
Mm-hmm. She lived in this area.
Right, and she's royalty. So she would have also been under Maeve to a certain extent. What we can tell from this is Rowan, super Billy Badass, right? We have this whole community of soldiers, super Fae soldiers.
Demi-Fae.
Well, right, but then we also have all the Fae that are training, and they do get to go to camp.
Dornell.
Yeah, there you go, Dornell. If Maeve wanted to wreck the King of Otterlin, she seems incredibly capable of doing so. The Fae don't necessarily have to have magic to have overwhelmed the king. You could prepare things at the place where your magic is effective and then use those items to combat the King of Otterlin, if that were a need, is my understanding of this. The King of Otterlin also seems to have no interest in removing the magic from where Maeve is at. They don't seem concerned. The king sent Selena there.
Yeah, he sent her there to...
Supposedly take the fucking place over.
Yeah, to disable the navy and murder the king and prince at some ball.
Right. That's never going to happen. And I think the king knows that's not going to happen. I don't think it was an actual goal of the king's. I think the king thought that Celaena would go there, she would be taken out of play for a while, and that would be fine. He either knows she's magic and is sending her to Maeve just where her parents didn't want her to go, or he assumes that she'll be killed. Either way, she's not his problem anymore. So I don't think you can factor the king into this. I think Maeve being more badass than Rowan, being much older than Rowan, tells me that she is a bad character, number one.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid of her, and it's not one of these hidden, like, oh, under the mountain tropes of what that could be. I do think that she is outwardly and obviously a bad guy. I think the king is in league with her in some way, and I believe that even if the king is smart, Maeve has been around for so long and is so revered and feared by the Fae. The king's ability to give people these rings and manipulate people, I think, is a Maeve thing. I believe she either taught him, maybe he went to Dornell at some point, and he was trained by her, or he is in some way an installed dictator of Maeve.
That's a lot to take in, because I don't know how he figured out all of that, other than we're told that he's really witty because he figured out where the word keys were, or at least 2 of them, I think.
This is the thing. If he found these word keys, and he managed to do all the things that he did do in his relatively normal lifespan, we're not led to believe that he has a crazy long lifespan. Therefore, he is clearly being manipulated. Because if you were another country and you saw this guy amassing this power in these ways, you would do something preventative. Therefore, Maeve not stepping in and crushing him before it ever got this far tells me that he's a puppet. I think she is the CIA and he is an installed dictator. That is my big theory.
Okay.
And
it's a lot. I don't...
And I'm also getting this from her other cousin. So Celaena's other cousin, who is also in love with her in a real creepy fucking way. I know that it's not played to be sexual, but it kind of is.
Adian?
Yeah, that dude's a creep.
What?
What do you mean?
That's not the vibe I was getting.
What kind of dude in his 30s is still out here like, oh, it's okay if I'm my cousin's only friend. Oh, this guy, he was fucking my cousin? Let's kill him. Like, what the fuck is going on? No, that dude is oddly possessive of a cousin.
Okay.
I have a lot of sisters, and I at no point am that possessive of sisters. Now, if you find out somebody's mistreated your person, you're going to react. Just the idea that they have a life outside of you is so fucking weird.
No.
I like him. I think he's going to be a cool character, but he's definitely kind of wants to fuck his cousin.
That was not the vibe I was getting.
Oh, they're a whole family of cousin fuckers. You can tell by the way it is.
No, I thought there was a memory that she had of her as a child. They were best friends.
Yeah, they were. Then he grew up, he went to her secret chateau, and he's like, he's sniffing the air. I don't know if my mic's going to pick that up. And he's like, she's a woman now. That's literally what happened. This dude is crazy. He's smelling past menstruation and just basking. He's a fucking weirdo. And I like that he's a weirdo. Like, I think we need... I'm sure you did.
Ruined this for me.
I'm sure you did. It's a Pride and Prejudice-esque story. You need a creep. I don't know who that would be in Pride and Prejudice. I can't remember. I've beat up Darcy too much, and you guys do not like that. So
who hates Mr. Darcy?
I do, but that's weird. Okay. I don't dislike this character. I just found it funny that there's so many cousin fuckers hanging around here.
I thought that they were best friends, and he has been...
He was possessive of her as a child, I also might add. Her parents are like, she needs to make friends, and he's like, you don't need more friends. You got... They're 5 years different. She's 8 years old. While they're in her room, he's 13 and she's 8. And he's like, yeah, I'm the only friend you need. Come on, man. This is weird. Can you imagine?
I feel like every thought that I had of him just went out the window.
Imagine our son talking to an 8-year-old girl.
Straws, trying to figure out what did I think before I walked into this room. And it was not any of this.
That's crazy. You got something different from this than I did. Well, tell me your theories. Besides the cousin fuckery, CIA install nonsense.
My theories are nothing compared to yours. Mine was just kind of like, oh, this relationship versus this relationship. Oh, I was thinking maybe Sorsha was unintentionally giving out information to someone that she trusted, and I think I saw her as more naive and innocent than I guess I just trusted that she's not a spy intentionally. That's my theory. And then
oh shit, I forgot to even include my Sorsha theory.
what's your Sorsha theory?
I think that the person who she's messaging,
You said Maeve.
I think it may be Maeve, and I think Maeve implanted her there, and I think she's also a magical person who her magic just doesn't work there because the king shut off the magic to everybody.
Yes, there's something about healers because Celaena says that she has a bit of
A
that.
drop.
Yes, of what healers can do.
But I think Sorsha's a spy. And I don't necessarily know if Sorsha knows that she's a spy. I think she's been brainwashed, and I think she has a different rock somewhere, either a ring, an earring, something like that, where she's also being controlled. This is the king and Maeve's grand plan to manipulate Dorian. Adora Bear better be safe. Sorry. Now back to your theory. I just wanted to clear that up before we get any further.
I'm going to be so broken if she hurts him because he's trying so hard. I
think she's going to have a change of heart and save him if that helps any.
I hope so.
I think she'll end up being the Airbud of the story. Okay, so you think Sorsha and Dorian, do you prefer the relationship Sorsha and Dorian are starting to have over the relationship that
Yes.
Celaena?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
In what way?
It was great. I don't know. There was just, it went so well. It was so flirty. And it was exactly what I was looking for. And then I realized like this series is not like those types of books, but we got a little taste with Sorsha and Dorian.
Do you feel like there's a power dynamic there that could be an issue? Her boss is flirting with her?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
But he has to find love somehow.
He does. I agree. And I think he had it with Nehemia. She's got to come
But
back.
they weren't in love. My other thing with Chaol, I don't know what to think about Chaol. I know he's trying to look out for Dorian. And it seems like he values Dorian over the king. And he sometimes conflicts with that. And it's, what he's trying to do to protect Dorian. I also wanted to point out that Chaol using Celaena's apartment because it was in her will, he was going to get it. I'm like, but she's not dead.
No, my favorite part of this is it's a secret apartment that she left in a will. Nobody fucking knew she had. The will is not important in this at all. Also,
and he's invited like 5 people. He invited Adian and some homeless rebels to live there.
So who do you think Arabin Hamel is?
I don't know. I forgot all about him. He was mentioned.
When they were talking about the apartment.
Yeah. I forgot about him. Who do you think he is?
I think he's a member in some way of some resistance-esque group.
Well, they were talking when they were in the apartment that she has every right to want to kill Arabin.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
because it was him that killed Sam or put the hit on Sam or something like that.
Yep. I think Sam was actually a bad guy being manipulated. Arabin had him killed as both a way to manipulate Celaena and as a way to protect her. The only reason I say this is if Arabin actually wanted Celaena dead, all he would have had to have done was come forward with who she was. Gwendolyn McAllister, whatever her real name is.
Aelin
Galathinius. There we go. Good job. Alien Galathinius.
Huh. Okay, I didn't think about that. He didn't want her dead. He wanted Sam dead. Why did he want Sam dead? Do we really know why?
I think Sam was a threat to Celaena. That's, I think, what we're going to find out.
And why would Erwin?
Why would Erwan?
Why would Arabin put in that much effort to protect her?
He put in all the effort to collect her after her parents were dead from the ditch, train her, bring her up as his own, so that she could be incredible and stand on her own 2 feet, even without the magic that now suddenly did not exist.
Yeah, and there was lots of talk in the beginning in Throne of Glass that she was his favorite.
Yeah, but he still kept it professional, made her pay back all the money and shit she cost him. I, at this point, am not anti-Arabin Hamel.
Okay.
I think he may be a secret good guy. I think he's a fae. Because before magic ended, how do you become the king of assassins without magic?
I don't know. I don't know who he is or anything about him.
Okay. We'll put
And
that one on ice.
I don't think we're going to find out until probably Queen of Shadows. We're going to jump back to Assassin's Blade next after this book. And that's a flashback, but given so many people read it at the beginning, there's no way it's going to spoil who she really is in that book. I wouldn't think that it would do that. So I don't think we're going to learn some things. I don't know. What do you think about Chaol teaming up with Adian?
Man, you talk about a weird, tenuous relationship. Cousin that wants to fuck her, the knight that did fuck her, and now neither of them are fucking her, and they're both going to have to watch the big fairy warrior fuck her. Like, that's weird to me. I think it's great that they've got this reluctant friendship. It's going to bite somebody in the ass. Then they pretended to smoke opium together, which I'm so glad the way they portrayed the opium den and that lady was so cool to me. Where she's like, oh, I'm going to tussle you up. You guys are going to look like you're just stoned off your ass. It's cool. And she's like, and if your blood pressure's getting a little high, just take a pull off the pipe, homie. I'm like, oh, I'd go undercover brother in that joint. Like, hell yeah.
Is she Archer's madam? Who that woman was?
No
You don't
way.
think so?
No.
It sounded like a brothel, and so I thought that could have been.
Yeah, I
who
think
they
it's a mix, bro. But this doesn't seem like a high-end establishment. I assume the lady pimping out our boy, she probably was a high-end establishment. It was like for nobility to come and fuck around. This one, you got to get high enough to fuck these people.
That's fucked up.
Well, I'm just saying. She did seem like she's great at espionage, though. I think she's part of the Underground Railroad, so to speak.
What do you think about Adian actually caring for his people? That his reputation was like Otterland's whore or something like that, but he actually really cares about him. He was faking a lot of the deaths and looking like this bad guy versus...
Oh, you mean he's boy Selena? Sure. I think it's great.
I feel like it would be unfair if she judges him, if she kind of learns of that, because she is also working for the king.
I don't think Selena's going to judge him at all.
I hope not.
I don't think that's going to be the problem. Now, here's what I don't understand. She knew he was alive the whole fucking time. He didn't know she was alive the whole time.
But did she know where he was?
Well, he's famously... He's like the most famous... what do you call it? He's the most famous general the king has.
Yeah, general or commander.
He's the most famous general, and he's the guy that goes in, does wet work, and gets results. I believe she would be aware of that individual. Everybody else seems to be aware of him. He's not some hidden secret assassin. He's the guy with, like, the special forces unit that goes in and destroys everybody. I would imagine it would be something she would be aware of.
Yeah.
So if I was him, I might have hurt feelings that she never felt the need to reach out.
Do you think that the king knows that Adian and Selena are related?
No. I don't know that the king initially knew who she was. I think the king started to figure it out when the little mark on her started glowing when she, in the end of the first book, when she was fighting Cain. That's my guess.
Okay, because Dorian started looking at Adian as very familiar, recognizing his eyes beforehand, and...
Yeah, because they match Selena's.
Yeah, and I didn't know if the king, being so witty and all, if he figured it out already.
Well, supposedly Selena always looked the other way, and the king never saw her eyeballs. Can you imagine the amount of times they've interacted, and he never saw her eyes? I like to imagine she just rolled in there with sunglasses and a stick, like pretending to be blind the whole time so he wouldn't take off her glasses.
Well, it explains a lot of the times where Chaol would be pissed off, how she would walk into the room with a severed head, with her head back and looking off, not really giving the king the time of day energy, and it was to avoid looking at him.
Yeah, but I cannot imagine that the king never saw her eyeballs.
Yeah, but it's like a small gold ring. You have to be really close. So I can understand, like, from a distance with the king.
This man's observant to have solved the word key puzzle in like 20 minutes that took her 3 weeks. I think he's got this handled. I think the king probably knew who she was at a certain point, but it doesn't behoove him to act in that way and bring up the fact that she still lives. All it would do is cause the riots and things to expand greatly from there.
Hmm.
And then we still have an impersonator going around. Nobody's mentioned that yet.
Impersonator?
Yeah, in the second book. It's mentioned that What's-Her-Face still lives. Her real name, right?
Oh, Aelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, Aelin still lives, and she lives in this area. So that means somebody's out there peddling their persona as being her. I'm curious to know who that person is, and if they were installed by Arab Hamel to help jar this rebellion and stuff a little more, and perhaps to even allow Celaena the movement to not be suspected of being her.
Oh, I thought it was like conspiracy theory style, that there isn't a person impersonating her, that they're stirring up a conspiracy, and many people know it's a conspiracy in order to get a following with the rebel forces. Because when Chaol told Aedion about Aelin's alive and whatnot, and then I think Aedion then told the other old man, Ren, I think? I'm trying to remember their names. They mentioned that, oh, well, we thought she wasn't really alive, that it was just the idea of her. No, I think
You thought it was a Jesus thing? Like people are like, whoa.
No, it's like that QAnon where they think JFK came back, or someone.
They think JFK still lives?
Yeah.
Well, JFK would have been nearly 50 in 1967 when he was assassinated. So that would make JFK currently 110 years old. So I'm doubting that very much. How old was JFK when he was assassinated?
QAnon followers, this is in 2021, QAnon followers gathered in Dallas, Texas, anticipating the reappearance of JFK Jr., who died in 1999 in a plane crash.
That makes way more sense.
It's like that is what I was picturing with Aelin, that you have this group of people who are like, she's here, she's back. And they're really, like, there's people who started this rumor at the top that they're aware, but they needed to get followers. So
my favorite is that they all gathered for JFK Jr., and then they got some brain-damaged fuck in RFK showed up.
I know.
It would be like the show Preacher. Like, this is Humpadoo, the Christ child. It's the same thing to me. RFK is the Humpadoo.
But that's kind of what I thought, that Aelin was a conspiracy, that people at top got the conspiracy going because it brought more followers.
I think there's actually somebody pulling the strings. I don't think you can get that many followers with them believing she had died. I guess with the QAnon thing, I think you could get that many people to believe it if they're already frenzied in a way that's primed for that, and they're already all conspiracy theorists to start with. I don't think you're going to get a group of people that are not generally open to conspiracy, just ready to believe that she's back from the dead, more or less.
Well,
I think they needed a body. There has to be a physical person, in my mind.
I think there might be. I don't know who.
So we better address some of these chapters.
We will.
Please.
I still have a few more main topics that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. And when you just said that one, she has another cousin, or maybe not a cousin. There's
another love interest.
No. There's a girl that is a year younger than her that was mentioned by Aedion. I can't remember her name. It's like Eileen. Do you remember this girl? Brief, small mentions.
How old is Celaena at this point?
I think she's 18 or 19.
She's not 20 years old at this point?
I don't think so.
So Elaine is a child?
Yes, or now 18.
Okay, never mind. There's a joke to be made. I'm going to leave it alone.
She also was thought to be dead in the same way as Celaena. And these guys, where they're at Mistward, they said that there was one girl who came through here, and she was here for like a week, and then she went to Dornell. I think that's Eileen.
Oh, okay, so I like that theory. I think the person impersonating Alien Galathinius,
Aelin,
whatever, is her cousin. Because they'd have the eyes and all the markers that kind of match. And if they're only a year or so younger, they could easily pass for just a well-aging.
You think the girl that I was just mentioning?
Uh-huh. I don't think that that's the same person that went to Dornell. I would say that.
Okay.
I think you could be totally right. But for my theory to work, it has to be somebody with the same eyes and everything she has and could pass as her. So I'm going to use the cousin in my scenario. The person who you have, they brought up that she could use all of the different types of elemental magic.
Oh, I
is what they brought
didn't
up.
catch that. I remember thinking that if this person is related to Selena, it'd be really funny that she also flew through going to Mistward faster than her and got to Doranel faster in the same way that the king solved all of this faster than her. That's really funny.
Then we just have like a mid-pack savior of this place. They're like, yeah, listen, you don't have to be the best at anything. Matter of fact, you don't even have to be good at a lot of things. You too can be a hero.
But she keeps chugging along, and that's what matters.
The little savior that could. Am I right, guys?
And you know what we had not talked about yet?
Ooh, Fleetfoot. Fleetfoot gets to sleep on the bed.
Yes. Yes, that's an important detail. We got an update about Fleetfoot. No, Manon, the witch.
Oh, yeah, this is where the Fourth Wing crossover happens.
Exactly.
Menomina.
What do you think about her in Abraxos?
Every time they say the name Manon, I just go, Menomina.
Same, and I didn't want to tell you that.
Menomina. I think she comes off as a really awesome character. I hope she teams up with Selena because they both have this like, I have a tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. I like when that lady shoved her into the cave of the wyvern, the fighting area. She fucking handled it like a boss. She's like, yep, fuck it, I'm here. And I like that she was loyal to the training beast or the feeder beast, whatever they call those things.
A bait beast.
Bait beast, there we go. A master beast. A master baiter. Anyway, also I like that wyvern liked to smell flowers.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, the food's gross. Also, the people around here aren't real people. They're infected.
That's right. What do you think about that?
I think this has something to do with the rings. Their blood is black, right? The rings are black.
And seemingly human and animal creatures.
So can I give you an idea that I have with this? And maybe this is too much Halo. There are only 2 video game franchises that I am familiar with intimately. Halo and Forza. In Halo, the first one, there's a thing called the Flood. And the Flood is infecting the alien brains and is like a colony. I think maybe the King and Maeve are infecting people like that. Where, like, if their blood is black, either they are being controlled or they are people who have innate magic in the way that their magic is being suppressed. Maybe they're fae and they're locked down because their blood has whatever makes that stone black and controls people and manipulates them is the same thing that's in these people's blood, maybe. It's not a well fleshed out theory.
Well, we were recently introduced with Sorsha and Dorian that his magic can be suppressed by increasing his iron intake. Maybe there's something in the food there because it's near that
there's enough iron to make their blood
not iron necessarily, but whatever that obsidian is, that it's introduced that their blood can have an increase in something, that I wonder if it's something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like magic poison, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, that it's, I don't know.
Because all I related to is Halo. Where I'm just like, oh, because you thought that the aliens that you were fighting were like the bad guys. And it turns out they weren't the bad guys. They were bad guys being controlled by like a parasitic alien. And this isn't necessarily the same thing, but it's like if all of these little things are in common, they don't have a growth on them. But if they all have black, seems to signify that they're...
I thought you were going to get into hive mind thing.
I debated on that because I really did think about it that way. Other than the way that these soldiers interact, some of them are still really stupid. Therefore, I think that you would have a uniform amount of knowledge and intelligence if it were a hive mind situation. So instead, I think it must be a suppression thing of some sort.
Yeah.
Or a manipulation, at least.
Yeah.
If not a takeover. It's just manipulating in some way. And so I assume the king is doing it because the witches also bring up how the king has bred these wyvern in secret. The witches didn't know about this. And these appear to be the last of the wyvern.
How is the king wearing this item and being in control, but everyone else wearing the item is not in control?
This is why I thought Maeve might actually be in control. She's our master of magic. As far as we know, she's the most powerful fae lady anywhere.
Then what would her goal be with all the word keys if she's using him to get all of them?
Yeah, I think that was the idea. She canceled out everybody that could have been a threat to her, and then she controls the only other thing that is seen as a threat to her. So it limits the uprising of people that could potentially compete, and it allows her to live her life in a way that is, she kind of gets to fuck around and do whatever she wants. But war is good business.
What? No, that's not her thing. She's just hanging out in Doranel most of the time.
That's
Why
what I
does
mean.
she want to?
She wants to. If she wasn't, let's say one of the other Fae kings or queens were eventually able to amass enough power, they could have challenged her for her territory, versus if she's manipulating the king of Otterland, she has this other thing that is supposedly challenging her, but it really isn't. It's not costing her anything to have him there. He's taking out all of her competition.
What if her goal is to take out all the humans because she seems honestly kind of racist against humans?
Yeah, but then it seems like it would have been really easy to do. With her power, it would have been nothing to have done that already. Look at what Selena could do as a half-cooked Fae person. Look at what, I mean, I think if you just look at her main soldier, we don't know how powerful, what's his name? Rowan. We don't know how powerful Rowan is in comparison to all of the other Fae, but we know he's a good warrior. If you had 100 warriors like him, how many soldiers do you think would stand a chance?
Yeah.
I think if you combine that with before magic was ousted, she could have just steamrolled everybody.
But I don't think that there are that many Fae.
Really? They seem to procreate quite well. Well, maybe not. Maybe there aren't that many, and that's why Selena's cousins with everybody.
Maybe, but I think there's a lot more demi-Fae
Sure.
that we're seeing, and that's where Maeve is.
So manipulate them to go do your bidding. That's kind of what they're doing now.
But I don't think Maeve likes any of them. I think she's this... Huh.
Yeah, but you don't just take out every group that you don't like. You take the ones out that you don't like the most, and you work your way back from there.
I think that's what she's doing.
I agree, and I think that's why she's using the King of Otterland to do it.
I still think the king is trying to mine iron, though, with that second prison.
Sure, because there's going to be Fae that don't agree. There's going to be things that happen that don't... I think that there's a chance that the King of Otterland maybe isn't on her side, but I am inclined to believe, because he has the ring, everybody else who he's given a ring seems to suddenly be a little goo-goo gaga. And you know who hasn't received the ring yet?
Kale.
Dorian,
yeah.
but his cousin has. His dad's best friend's got one. Old pumpernickel.
Do you think the king loves Dorian? Likes him? Actually cares about his son?
Weirdly, I think the king does. I think there's a conflict here. I think the king wants Dorian to be useful, and then the other part of him loves his son. And I'm assuming that's actually why Dorian doesn't have a ring yet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that he's trying to protect his son and keep him out of this.
But I think what's going to happen is eventually Dorian's going to learn enough about his magic, and eventually Dorian is going to become useful enough to the king's cause that he'll end up with the ring. That's just my guess. If I was the king, that's what... Yeah, I'm just saying, if I was the king and I was being controlled by an evil lady, a few weeks away via boat, I'd probably, as soon as he became something that that person couldn't ignore, I would need to be able to use him also.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a shitty deal. I don't think the king's a good dude, but I, as a dad, have a hard time imagining a world in which you don't just adore your kids. So, I don't know.
Well, we can get into the chapters a little bit. I'm just going to kind of do it for jogging our memory a little bit. In chapter 1, she has a drinking problem, which I found kind of funny. She's just completely drunk, eating bread. She's watching the castle entrance, and I think that's where she's trying to make the plans of how to do what the king wants her to do. And she hasn't bathed in days, and a vagrant woman thought she was also a vagrant. Chapter 7, a rugged, handsome, tattooed Fey man could smell her lineage. He shows up, so that's what we're
I can smell that we're cousins. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, if they fuck, it's going to be weird for you now.
Chapter 3, Chaol is having nightmares of Selena killing Dorian. That is what I wanted to mention earlier, that I wonder if Dorian's going to die.
Absolutely not. If Dorian dies, I'm out.
Well, you can't keep adding to that list.
Why? They took Nehemia away. They can kill other people. Dorian stays.
I don't know if I told you, a listener did tell us that Fleetfoot makes it, so don't worry.
You did tell me, and that's why I'm continuing to read. Fleetfoot and Dorian need to remain safe. Oh, Fleetfoot saves Dorian later from being given the ring. Fleetfoot eats the ring, shits it out. All the properties of that magic stone are gone. Fleetfoot's absorbed it. There we go.
So Chaol has that dream. He values keeping Selena and Dorian's secrets. Aedion is the king's general, Selena's cousin, Ash River lineage, and the human that she first saw, the human that she has to kill, is also in Ash River.
Who is clearly not a human.
Yeah, I don't think so, because he's so handsome.
Well, he's in Ash River. They are Fae.
Yeah, or at least demi-Fae. So Aedion has the black ring that we later learn he replaced. Aedion is a Ash River, not Galathinius. His great-grandma is Mab, renamed Diana, Lady of the Hunt, who I thought was Selena's great-grandma. That is. It took me a little while. And she received an arrow from Diana in Throne of Glass, Chapter 7, and Crown of Midnight, Chapter 56. There is another mention there. Chapter 4, Manon. This is when we're first introduced to her. She is being hunted by the villagers. And she was pretending to be another type of witch. I think a kraken or I don't think it was kraken.
A kraken witch.
So she was pretending to be a kraken witch, which is very unheard of given their sworn enemies, which we now see we have these different clans of witches that are all coming together to work together to learn how to ride wyvern.
Yes.
And she is the one that set up the 13, which is the most badass group of all the clans, even within their clan.
Yeah, that was odd to me. I couldn't quite suss out what was going on. Do each clan have a 13?
No, just this one. And Manon, I believe, runs it.
Manon also was around for riding brooms.
Yes, I think so.
She's old enough to have been riding brooms before because her flight skills are unparalleled. But somehow it also translates to riding a wyvern, which that blows my mind. I don't understand. It seems like the wyvern is doing most of the work when you're flying the wyvern, where she's like, I knew they'd be impressed when they saw these moves. And I'm like, that critter's pretty much doing all the work. That would be like if a child was on my back and we were running a race, but like I was doing heel clickers and stuff over, you know what I mean? Over fucking hurdles and shit. That'd be like the child taking credit, be like, yep, you should have seen it. I rode this shit out of that dude.
Well, many of them believe that the wyvern are not intelligent, except for Manon. And I feel like I'm rooting for Manon and Abraxos now.
I am too.
If
also,
they're
because
fighting,
Abraxos smells flowers and he's a chill guy.
If they fight Selena, I'm going to be very conflicted. And I think that's the purpose of showing us this other side, is to...
I won't be. I really want Abraxos to survive, and I kind of don't care if the other two do. I mean, I really like Selena, but now that the cousin fucking's gone on the way it has,
No.
I just don't know if I appreciate the story we've had about her so far, but I don't really care what happens with the kingdom. I would like Abraxos and Airbud, a.k.a. Fleetfoot, to rule the kingdom. Thank you guys for supporting us. It's been a good time. If you'd like more,
follow us here, TikTok or Instagram. Fable, if you want to join our book club. Patreon, if you want episodes early.
dropping on Tuesdays if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Episodes are releasing on Tuesdays. If there's a two-parter, it's going to be on Thursdays.
We accept 5-star reviews and nothing less. If you leave something less, you're a motherfucker.
No!
Oh.
Honest reviews.
Not that honest. Only leave a review if you're willing to be a 5-star honest person. Should we come up with something mean to say to him on the way out? I kind of want to pick on him.
No, I want to say love
mood.
you. Bye.
Oh, you can tell him that you love him.
Okay.
I won't.
Love you guys before Ryan bullies you out of here.
I'm fine with most of you. I love you, bye.